Tom, thanks so much for joining us.
Keith, thanks so much for having me.
I'm excited to talk to you because we're going to talk about Glance, which is a company that when I think about it as a consumer, it's great that we have this ability with technology to do so many things on our own. But sometimes I just want to talk to somebody to help me out and figure out what I'm trying to accomplish. So let's talk about Glance and what you guys do.
Yeah, so Glance is a company that's really focused in the mid to enterprise market. We engage customers easily, within their digital journey. I think of so many times when you today are trying to get engaged with someone, we help those customers connect with businesses in the moment, wherever they are on the web, on your mobile device, to provide a guided experience. And by being able to do that in the moment, companies are able to increase customer satisfaction. Customers are happier. There's better brand loyalty. It drives, revenue, because oftentimes people abandon journeys because they're like, wow, I don't have enough information, or it gets a little too difficult. So you abandon, and we're like, well, we can help you convert and change the conversion rate and drive revenue. You can also expose things like, oh, by the way, Keith, did you know we also do this? And so having those ability to connect people at those critical moments, wherever they are in the journey. We are trusted by some of the largest brands in the world. We think of some of the clients that we work with like, hey, oh, it's tax season, Intuit, TurboTax, QuickBooks. We do work with Constant Contact, US Bank. You think about US Bank, where people couldn't walk into branches anymore. And suddenly it's like all those modalities have suddenly shifted to just digital. And when you suddenly are like, hey, I wanted to speak with someone and I can do it from within the application, and they can understand exactly where I am. I don't have to go back and, they ask me 20 questions of like, why are you calling? Where are you? And so we've done that type of work to be able to provide that ability to be able to, we like to say, see, show, and share anything with just a simple click. We know that we're a technology that's embedded into customer journey. So we naturally are working with partners and have integrations to companies like Salesforce, ServiceNow, Twilio, Genesys, many other companies like that.
Well, you mentioned the TurboTax Intuit example, which I think is perfect because if I'm spending time doing my taxes, and doing taxes is not easy, although TurboTax makes it easy, I still probably have questions. And to be able to hit a button and talk to someone live to help me figure it out and move on with my day is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about taxes is you do it once a year. And oh, by the way, your life continues to change, and so does the tax code. And so what I did last year probably isn't what I'm going to do this year. Oh, I changed jobs. I got married. I have a kid. I bought a new home. And you realize the tax code is changing. And so when you can connect with someone, even if you're smart, like I can do my taxes, but what if I want to have someone review it and say, hey, Keith, I don't want to leave anything on the table. Can you just do a quick review to, you know what, this is so easy. Why don't I have you guys just do my taxes for me? And so when you'll think about having the ability to do it on your time, in your space, you look at the economics, how many people have someone do it for them, like walking down to the street to a CPA versus the do it yourself. We're helping Intuit pioneer the do it together space in a digital environment that suddenly allows for TurboTax to grow into a completely new market to generate new revenue. It's really cool.
Yeah. And that's just one use case. There's every industry can benefit from this. So what's the history of the company? You're CEO of Glance. So talk about the background story of the company and how you got involved.
Yeah, so we're a company that's not that new. We were actually founded back in 2000. I came on board in 2013. We started to really launch our first enterprise product in 2015. We were originally based out of the Cambridge, Arlington area on Mass Ave. We've moved our headquarters to Wakefield. We've got a satellite in Portsmouth, but over this past year, we've become kind of a company that has people all over the place. We've got 3 people working, on the West Coast, a couple people in California, Oregon, people all over the place, because you realize we used to be this Boston-centric company. Now we're just like, well, where do you find talent? Well, we're finding talent all over the place. We were a company that was bootstrapped from the beginning. Our founders bootstrapped the business. We've had some customer funding, but we've been a profitable company. So we've gone into the market. When you think about being a bootstrap company, you really become very capital efficient about how you do things. But this past couple years has been a tailwind, because suddenly people are like, wow, you know what? I do need to meet my customers in their digital journey. Humans do like to still do business with other human beings. They like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And how do we do that as a business when they can't walk through the front door? So how do we provide that connection? So we've been that business that has built a strong business with some amazing brands. We've got close to 67 employees today, and we're continuing to grow at a rapid pace. Close to, I would say north of 30% plus. I'm not going to give you all the stats, but this is a company that's seeing some great success.
Now, in terms of that growth for hiring, what different functional areas are you expecting to hire for?
There are really three key areas that we're focused on. Engineering is probably our key, most important area. And on that engineering side, we've got people that are developers that are doing code in real-time stack. A lot of the modern tooling of JavaScript frameworks, because most of the stuff that we're working on is all inside of the web. We also have people on the operations side, but engineering is probably our biggest focus. And then, our go-to-market, where we've been hiring a lot of people, on the sales and marketing and investing there. So over the past few months, we've done a lot of hiring in marketing, but also the partner side, because as a company that's part of a journey, we recognize working with other partners who have relationships with the companies that we want to do business with. It just makes sense to be able to focus on growing those areas. So engineering, sales, partnerships are our biggest areas that we're looking for people.
Now, once someone joins the team at Glance, what's the culture like? What's the day-to-day environment in terms of working there?
Yeah, so we have, when someone comes on board, I will tell you that some of the most recent feedback, we've spent a lot of time to think about how do we actually want to bring somebody into the company. And we have focused on making sure that we don't drop people to sizzle in the pan, immediately. We're like, Keith, we're going to have 30 to 45 days of onboarding. And so we've built a pretty rigid structure on how we actually bring people on, to get them exposure, to actually have interviews with people, to go through training, because we've started to build our own coursework so that people can understand, the market, the technology, our positioning, how we go through and take our product to market, so that when people go through that process, they now have started to build relationships, because you realize working in a virtual environment, even if you're working in the Boston area, we don't really have anyone going into the office. We closed our offices back March 2000. We've got them open now, but very few people are going in because of the concerns with the COVID still here. So being able to bring people on and onboard them has been a huge win for us, because people suddenly are like, wow, I feel like I can jump into my job and be productive by taking that time. So they're going to find out that we have a really solid and deliberate onboarding structure to really help change the equation, so that we spend all this time to find someone. We want to make sure they're onboarded so they become really successful. We have a flexible work schedule. When you think about PTO, we want people to live their lives. You sit there and like, oh, I got a doctor's appointment, I've got to go to a kid's play. It's a matter of like doing your job, being available, and over communicating. And so we have put in systems in place to be able to allow for those things to happen. So, we're big on Google. So we have Google for Business. We use Slack. We've got many ways to be able to communicate and make sure stuff is shared. We're big on the Atlassian stack. So we've got things like Jira projects, and we use Confluence. And so a lot of information is available and to be able to be published and shared. I'll dive into some of the things that are like our core values. So when people sit there and they're like, is information easy to be found? One of our core values is being transparent and trying to share that information. And so other people have said, hey, I'm just onboarded onto the company. We do quarterly meetings, to share where are we? What do our financials look like? What are our sales numbers? Where are we struggling? It's not just like rah, rah. It's really about like, getting people empowered with the information that we have to be able to do their job really well.
Now, the job market's very active out there. There's lots of opportunities for people to explore, which is a good thing. We want an active job market. So why is now the ideal time to join Glance?
People are always looking for an opportunity to contribute and to be part of an organization where not only do you get a chance to contribute, but you also get a chance to shape how things are happening. And there's opportunity because over the past 13 months, we hired 18 people. We're trying to do the same thing, this year. So we're bringing a lot of people on board. It doesn't mean that we're like creating this huge hierarchy structure. Everyone has to work for someone, but we're creating an environment where people have the ability to shape the future of Glance and to participate in where we're going. This is a market, as you think about opportunities, there's some great altruistic components to recognizing that we're helping people live better lives. We're getting people connected with people that can help them make really important decisions in life. Think about like enrolling in healthcare, dealing with your finances. So you're jumping into a company that has really cool technology. We're going out and pioneering, a new space on how humans get connected in digital journeys. And it's a fun place to work. So I think this is a place that people should be like, yeah, I want to be there. Because I always ask people, I'm like, do you want to be on an escalator going up or down? No one says down. Everyone is like, I want to go up. So that's what Glance is.
Well, if you are interested in exploring opportunities at Glance, you need to go to their company page on VentureFizz, which has all their job listings there. Go to venturefizz.com/Glance, and you'll see all their job listings. Tom, thanks so much for taking the time to walk us through all the details on the company.
Great. Keith, thanks so much for having me.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. At VentureFizz, our mission is to share the stories of companies, their people, and culture. So if you're interested in more interviews with founders and executives in the tech industry, make sure you click on the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching.